We have this one guy, his name is Stephen A. Smith. He plays the angry black man on TV. The angry black man stereotype is basically you're loud.
Everybody knows that Stephen A. Smith is a gimmick and that Stephen A. Smith, there's no authenticity to Stephen A. Smith, that ESPN knows that they're promoting a clown.
Here we go.
That ESPN, and to fit a stereotype of, as this man described it, the angry black man.
Not the angry black man.
And so
Jason Whitlock reacts to an ESPN employee calling out Stephen A. Smith. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
This is about a 4-minute clip of an ESPN employee being secretly recorded by James O'Keefe and his investigative crew. This is a producer at ESPN. I believe he's an African-American gentleman. I hate the word African-American. A black American that is talking about Stephen A. Smith's role at ESPN. I find this fascinating. I find it enlightening. I don't find it all that surprising, but let's play what James O'Keefe and his crew have exposed about what people at ESPN really think about Stephen A. Smith.
Damn.
We have this one guy, his name is Stephen A. Smith. He plays the angry black man on TV. The angry black man stereotype is basically you're loud. You talk over people. What you say is not necessarily important. It's more how loud you are and how you deliver your speech. He does that pretty well. I think the higher ups at ESPN and Disney see that. He's like this angry black man. He goes on Fox News.
Yeah, that's what Stephen A. Smith is getting paid for, to be entertaining, to yell, scream. He has his moments where his volume gets out of control, but if you want to call it the angry black man, feel free to do so. I more just see it as we need someone that's very entertaining, that can keep people engaged for about 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. You need that in this new era of sports media. It's not like you're just covering the game, LeBron James dunk, looking at highlights. Nah, you got to cover stories and you got to keep people engaged for, 2+ hours. So it is what it is, but looks like people at ESPN ain't rocking with Stephen A. Smith.
Probably like once a week. And he'll talk about and he has no idea about talking about his views on and we're like, brother, you were just talking about the Lakers 3 hours ago.
Damn, don't do that.
What do you know about Stephen A? I've been talking about LeBron's son for a while. LeBron confronted him at a game one time. And then ever since that, Stephen A's been on 4 different podcasts, basically I thought it was a weak move, coming up to me and whatnot. It's just this whole embarrassing thing that we're all rolling our eyes at. They just think he's crazy, just trying to create attention, which is his job, I guess. He gets paid a lot of money to do that. So.
Yeah, he get paid a hell of a lot of money, $100+ million, and don't forget about the other contracts he got before the huge contract he got recently. So yeah, of course, he may go on Fox and talk to Hannity, talk to these other figures in the political realm, and he's gonna talk about the Lakers either hours before or hours after. So again, Stephen A. Smith, he's a jack of all trades.
To create chaos, to create controversy, an argument. That's his job, basically.
So he's an investor?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Very much whoever's buying my shit, I will sell you my bull. Which is Fox News sometimes.
So what that confirms, and everybody knew it was obvious, but that everybody knows that Stephen A. Smith is a gimmick and that Stephen A. Smith, there's no authenticity to Stephen A. Smith, that ESPN knows that they're promoting a clown.
Here we go.
That ESPN knows that he has no credibility as it relates to politics and really has no credibility as it relates to sports, and that here's Disney and ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, is promoting someone who's completely unqualified to do what they're hired to do.
Well, he may be qualified within the ESPN Disney ecosystem. It's perfect. Someone that's going to work hard, someone that's going to yell and scream, debate everybody, and then does some other stuff on the side as well. As long as it's not interfering with First Take and the flagship shows, I think he's going to be on Monday Night Football or contribute on there. NBA Countdown. Hey, he can do what he wants to do. He doesn't have to be qualified completely, but is he entertaining? I think that's the main thing with Stephen A. Smith. Is there flaws in his character? Maybe so. Is there flaws in his debates and knowledge? Possibly, but is he entertaining? When people click on ESPN.com or click on the YouTube channel or tune in to the actual television shows, they're going there to see Stephen A. Smith. If Stephen A. Smith isn't on First Take, I know for sure I'm not watching. And I know a lot of people aren't watching as well. So as long as he has that type of viewership power, he's going to get paid a lot of money for years to come, even after this $100 million contract.
They're just there to create chaos and cliques and division and to fit a stereotype of, as this man described it, the angry black man.
Not the angry black man.
And so Disney and ESPN, and we're not breaking news here, but their job is to promote racial division and to promote a buffoonery among black hosts, because this extends beyond Stephen A. Smith. They have a play-by-play broadcaster, the Mark Jones character, and Stan Verrett that sit on social media and pretend like there's Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or Baby Louis Farrakhan, and ESPN's good with this because this is the role that they have designed for black men.
Yeah, again, this is the day and age we're at with entertainment, sports media. Yeah, you're going to have these figures to where who can we prop up? Who can we put in positions to really, shine and bring us more money and more viewership? That's all it's about at the end of the day. And I know Whitlock, he knows that as well. But, he has a personal beef with Stephen A. So I expect him to go different routes with the this debate or argument, whatever you want to call it. But still, as long as Stephen A. Smith is entertaining, as long as he's not doing nothing crazy outside of ESPN, yeah, they're going to pay him a lot of money. So, hey, we need you to scream more. We need you to put on your Cowboys hat and talk about the Dallas Cowboys for 30 minutes to an hour, 5 times a week. He's going to do that. So, yeah, it may seem like he's a puppet or maybe he is a puppet, but for $100 million, a lot of people, they're going to do what the bosses tell them to do. And that's what Stephen A. Smith is doing right now.
There are people like Stephen A. Smith who are paid to promote racial conflict and to promote a negative image of black people. Uninformed, emotional, loud, and just willing to say and do whatever.
Now, as far as the whole promoting racial division, that's been talked about for a while now with Stephen A. Smith. A lot of people are calling him out like everything has to do with race. We just want to hear about sports. So I'm more, going into that lane to where I just want to hear about LeBron James, Bronny, the Lakers, OKC. Like, I want to hear about sports. I don't really want to hear about the racial component every time. I watch a different, station for that. But if I'm tuning into ESPN as of right now, if it's nothing to do with basketball, maybe if you tie it in and, okay, this happened because of this, I get it. But just to kind of randomly go off about race and stuff like that, I just want to hear about sports at the end of the day. That's why I tune into ESPN. But it's to the point I'm tuning into these content creators on YouTube because I just want to hear about said sport, specific sports, the Heat or whoever. I don't want to hear about anything else. But again, this is sports media in 2025, the new media that's being pushed to the people.
This is what Disney, one of the most powerful influences in global culture, paying for what Stephen A. Smith is providing, a black buffoon.
Damn.
So that people dig into their animus and racial division and their racial pride. It's sad. And when you hear me talk about, hey, Stephen A. Smith is a plant, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely plantish if you want to say that Stephen A. Smith is a plant. Yeah, he's being installed only because he's great at what he does. I'm going to just keep going back to the entertainment factor. As long as you can bring in viewers and keep them there for a good amount of time. You have a 2-hour program, and if you can keep people there 70, 80% of the time, if you've been number one consistently in that sports time slot, yeah, of course they're going to prop up Stephen A. Smith. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, the whole negotiations, they were good for content creators like myself, but ESPN knew that they couldn't lose Stephen A. Smith because you take him away, you're pretty much going to lose a good quarter plus of your audience on a day-to-day. Are they really ready to lose that? They don't have a replacement for Stephen A. Smith. Shannon's cool, but he's more of a contributor. Yeah, he does a lot of full-time stuff now, but still, you need a Stephen A. Smith if you're ESPN and Disney, and that's why he's getting paid all the big bucks.
Everybody knows exactly what ESPN is doing, including ESPN employees. When they don't think they're on camera, when they don't think someone's listening to them, they actually say what they think and what they know to be true and what the conversation is like at ESPN behind the scenes.
But has it been confirmed that that individual works at ESPN? Is this an actual real thing? I know they had the music playing in the background, so maybe this was an investigation or something leaked, but I don't know about that. So we still got to confirm, but if it is true, that just goes back to where a lot of people at ESPN, they don't rock with Stephen A. Smith. There's been some reports that Shannon, Sharpe, and Stephen A. Smith, causing a little bit of turmoil at ESPN. Shannon, he addressed it. He's not really in the office like that. He's mostly like Zoom calling or doing some remote work. So I don't know about Shannon Sharpe saying, but, Stephen A. Smith, he's there more in person than Shannon. So there have been reports about people not feeling Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe, and maybe this leaked audio confirms everything.
So I want to connect this, and we'll land the plane here. Talked about at the very beginning of this show, as it relates to the NCAA tournament, as it relates to men, as it relates to the controlled demolition of American Christian culture. All of this is by design. You need this conflict so that they can transition us into a culture that is a total slave to the elites. And you can sit there and say, well, it's always been that way. And I would say, not to this degree. This is a new level. There was a path for all of us, black, white, brown, yellow. There was a path for all of us. If we assimilated and adopted certain biblical values, we could climb the ladder here in America.
Again, I'm sure there's a bigger picture of all of this, but at the end of the day, ESPN, Disney, they don't care about any division that they may cause or propping up certain individuals. As long as it makes sense, as long as it's making dollars and they're able to generate revenue, pay these people all this money and get a return on their investment, that's all that ESPN cares about. That's all that every major corporation cares about. How much money can we make off this individual? And if he's bringing in all this viewership, yeah, we're going to prop him up. So, yeah, Stephen A. Smith may be considered a plant, but as long as he keeps the people entertained, he'll be getting money for years to come. And regardless of ESPN employees allegedly saying things about Stephen A., it doesn't matter. Now, when he doesn't make the company money, that's when they'll reevaluate things. And until that happens, it is what it is, man. Stephen A. Smith, he's going to keep getting to the money, keep being put on mainstream TV, all the television shows from Fox, ESPN, you name it. He's going to be there because he brings in a lot of eyes and ears to these television shows.